Hi, everybody. We're the Carrolls. I'm Cornelius, and this is my wife of almost 44 years, Yolanda, and my girlfriend before that for 5 years. So we've been together for a few minutes, and we've learned a few things. You've got questions. We've got a few answers we'd love to share with you. We believe in marriage, and it's one of the things we believe we're called to share with. So we've got a few answers. You've got questions.
So today we wanted to talk about, just briefly, want to talk about finances. One of our core, our empowerment series that we promote together is called SIFT, and those are four letters, acronyms, and they are SIFT: Communication and Conflict Resolution. I is for intimacy. F, pardon me. F is for finances, and T is for trust. And so at any point in any relationship, finances are going to become a piece. And that's something that needs to be discussed before you become one, before you even decide to move in together, before you decide to share your debit card or share your bank account, or even access the money drawer that we throw all the change and the dollars in for the pizza. There needs to be some kind of clear communication about finances. For us, again, we've been in this a long time, and so we grew together. We were in high school. We got our first professional jobs together. We are people of faith. We believe strongly in the core principle of tithing. So we've agreed on that even before. I don't know if we were even 20 yet, and we agreed on God's giving principle of tithing. So we do have a kind of, let's say, heads up on that, because we were able to grow together in financing and learn how to get it right, and after we have done it incorrectly more than once in these 40 some odd years. But as far as financing, what works for us, and you may want to look at what will work for you, is we have, people say, okay, that's my money and his money. We split the bills straight down the middle. However, that does not work for us. But again, we didn't have any money to start with. So we didn't come in with separate, different house in my name and house in his name, car in his name and car in my name. We didn't come in with all of that. So that's a little different in how you manage those pieces. But what works for us is, because he is the more practical one, he's the more thoughtful one when it comes to finances, then he handles the major finances and all of those types of things. I spent over 20 some odd years in banking, managing other people's money and sending them their children's college tuition, and financing their pools, and financing their homes, and financing their new roofs, and opening checking accounts and credit cards and all of those things. And so when my season was up in that area, I was glad to allow my husband to lead in that area. However, what worked for us, because we had 3 children, for him, it worked well that we manage all the major things from one account, and then we manage my playthings, my things that were disposable. The disposable income is where I had resources. We're both on the same account. If something happened to me, he could get to it, all that. And there was an account that he bought his golf balls out of. There was an account that he got some new stuff for his wheels on his vehicles. The time where, that he made special things that just he wanted, the special socks that he likes to wear with his golf shoes, those types of things. So what that looks like is that we have one major account that the mortgage and the insurance and the utilities and all the things were critical, that they got taken care of. And so we agreed that, I contributed to that account. He contributed to that account. And then there was of course, we went dispersed money into the savings, and then of course our disposable income, and that's worked for us over the years. So there wouldn't be any insufficient funds on the account that carried the mortgage, any late fees on the gas bill or the cell phone bill or those types of things. And so I say all of that to say that there has to be a plan in place, or else it could possibly blow up. And even if you're in homes where one is if I'm the primary breadwinner and he's the stay-at-home dad or the self-employed businessman, you still can do it that same way, that there is a key place, a main source where the resources that take care of the roof over our head and the utilities and all of those things. So it doesn't necessarily matter who's bringing the most into the household, but those resources that are going to pay. And so, and also that would also allow us to see how much we have and how much we spend. So there has to be a meeting of the minds when it comes to money. There has to be a meeting of the minds, or there will certainly be a conflict at some point. So consider if and if you have something that works for you, put it in the comments that we may be able to share with others. But please talk about money, and then how you feel about money. Do you value it? Do you spend it? Do you waste it? Do you save it? Those types of things. And I promise you, along the way, that'll be one hill that won't be as hard to climb.
Right. And when my wife said, I want to put it in a simple context: pay yourself, pay God first, pay yourself, and then pay your bills. By that, we pay our tithes, then we pay ourselves by putting something in savings every paycheck. And we encourage couples, every paycheck, put some money in the savings, whatever
even if it's $5 and you have to go back and get it out, still do it.
Yeah, because you're building that habit, and then at some point you won't have to get 5 out. You might get 3 out, but you're still building. So we encourage that, and especially being in our 60s now, we understand how important it is. The savings that you started 40, 50 years ago, now it's valuable to us right now. So we encourage that. That, and then of course, pay the bills, as my wife said. But again, have a conversation about money. Understand there's some people that worship money. That needs to be a conversation. There's some people that, are frivolous with money. That needs to be a conversation. And as you say, maybe, in our house, it happens to be me, but in your house, it might happen to be the wife that pays the bills. Let the one that is good at it and the one that is passionate about it, let that one handle those bills. And just, let's make sure we're contributing. Both parties are contributing, so there won't be bitterness, or there won't be, jealousy about where's the money going. And also, we strongly, as my wife said, every dollar that I have, she's got access to it. Every dollar that she has, I have access to it, because we're still one. I might be the one that writes the checks out of this book, and she might be the one that writes out of that book, but we ought to have access to it. And then here's the other thing I would say, especially as couples are getting married older. As you get older, let's say getting married for the first time in your 30s or maybe even 40s, you have established financial habits. You have savings. You have life insurance policies. Revisit that now with your spouse. And I would encourage that if you've been single for 40 years or 20 years or whatever, and you have children, and now you're married, then you want to make sure that you don't just take from your children that what was going to be theirs, that they've expected for 20 years. Establish a new life insurance policy where your mate is now the beneficiary. You may keep that other one that you had for the children, but now establish a new one so that each, your mate also has or is a beneficiary on a life insurance policy. There's many things we can talk about, but we just encourage, have some open conversations. And a lot of times, we don't think about it till after the fact, but think about it before and it'll go much smoother.
Yeah, so a conversation about money needs to be had. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.
See ya.